buttons, we are back, and it is an all-pig remake. Team Empire versus NaVi, game number 3. We've already been pretty deep. Empire just won like good series of events. They had Aegis, they had Cheese, at like an, what, 8k gold advantage, but well, then Shadow Demon purged PL illusion, and that made the game server crash, unrecoverable. Very unfortunate. Vensko's gonna have to be very careful not do that same shit again. It's a bad situation. It's not fair towards Empire, but we have no other options at this point. My name is Dragondrop. I'm joined by Skim. We're gonna have to try and make the most of it.
Yep, this is very unfortunate. This was a great game up until that point as well. Yeah, sure, NaVi just sort of like pretty much died, and you know we're about to sort of concede about a 10k net worth disadvantage or something. But they weren't out by any means. And I wonder, do you know exactly what the conditions of this remake are? Is it just like a flat out just remake, or do we also get like conditions as in, you know, you get X amount of bounty runes and whatnot?
I don't think so. I think
Probably
it's just
it's just a remake probably.
remake, same pics, and that's about it. So
that's about it. Yeah.
Things can happen. Yeah. It's a new game from this point on.
I wonder if either of these heroes had a mango in the beginning that they have to now consume or whatever. Not that it matters, really. Anyway, yeah, this is still the same game, sort of. You know, we have the same lineups, obviously. We have the same lanes as well, most likely anyway. We saw in the last game, I think we saw a little bit of a head start for FN in the mid lane, because something that we mentioned earlier is, you know, the two lanes, you know, Mirana, Clockwork more potent than the Queen of Pain Sand King. And this is the dynamic that I'm looking forward to the most. If that is going to change it all, if perhaps NaVi are going to approach it differently, or if they're fine with how things are, or how things went. Because in the last game, even though FN did have a head start, Dendy still came back into the lane anyway. So we might just see the same thing happen, or NaVi completely readjust and be like, all right, maybe we dominate this lane from the get-go. Maybe we put the Disruptor there as well, you know? Who knows?
Yeah, there's so many things, like, basically take away some of these considerations about how the drafts develop into later parts of the game. You already have some of these... you have basically already played through one possibility of, alright, we do this, they do this, and then this happens. Right? So then, yeah, as you said, you can either adjust, or you can accept it, you can try and just play better, play differently. It's many different considerations that teams are not necessarily used to. I certainly am not. So I have no idea what to expect in that regard.
Also, regarding the crash, there are two things to consider. A, you can't just flat out tell Vanskor to never use his Demonic Purge on a Phantom Lancer, because he will want to use it on the main Phantom Lancer to kill him.
Yeah.
And B, he did tweet out that he tested it in a lobby and it didn't crash the server. I'm not sure if certain conditions have to be met in order for Demonic Purge on an illusion to crash the game. I assume that there have to be more conditions, but the thing is, we don't know, and it might just happen again. Honestly, it might just happen again. I obviously hope it doesn't, but you know, in the
actually, with this pause, by the way, I'm just gonna start the real quick myself.
Sure.
Nothing really happening anyway, but yeah, it's an awkward situation. Like, I personally would have maybe made a repick or like a redraft, completely new game. But yeah, there's a different philosophy to that, and at some point, if it would be confirmed that, hey, Shadow Demon has these issues, then sometimes organizers would also say, hey, okay, that hero is bugged, game breaking, so we ban it from picking it for any team.
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, that sucks probably even more for Empire as well, because I mean, it is one of the, you pointed it out earlier in the draft. You know, this is the hero that NaVi has been banning into this entire series, and this is the one game where they let it through. And then suddenly, well, guess what? You can't pick it because, you know, this is a game break. No, I mean, I get what you mean. Let's see. Hopefully, this game just works itself out. Maybe Vanskor has the presence of mind to never use Demonic Purge on illusion. Who knows?
Yeah. I have to select again. My mouse was bugged and I couldn't click on heroes for some reason. But hopefully nothing crazy happens.
We have a smoke, so crazy things could happen. We have a little bit of a different ward this time around as well, and it looks like they're going to engage. Cogs
And back,
onto the
that
Sand
is. First strike to follow here.
Arrow
Clockwork
connects.
oh, it does indeed. Snake in a bit of trouble himself, perhaps. Here, Sun starts to right click away. He's TPing out. That's not gonna happen. Plenty of damage here on the side of Empire, and they get the first blood. So they start off with a bit of an advantage here up top. Ghost should also be able to claim. He claimed the bounty rune from Crystallize, and the second one is still available. Meanwhile, Pushka, though, he's dropping super low. Maybe going a bit too greedy into NaVi after that first blood, so Denny gonna claim a kill for himself. Already a very different game.
Definitely a bit too greedy. Ghostic tried to go for the creep pull, what he did in game 1. In game 1, or not in game 1, in the game that crashed. Let's call it game 3, I guess, and this is game 4, maybe. In the last game, he pulled the creep wave back to his own tower, you know, and Crystallized, obviously knowing that, since it already happened, just stayed there, traded hits with Ghostic, and discouraged him from doing so.
Yep.
So already we see, I think, something, you know, based on the knowledge of the previous game, this ain't happening again.
One thing that's probably happened before and still happening though is that General is stacking up quite a bit of Shadow Poison. Even level 1, look at this. That's a third of his health points with all 5 stacks up. So the max damage multiplication. You do
this
16
lane,
times. Oh, arrow? Okay.
Oh, sorry. This mid lane, though, going completely different already. Not completely different, but I think Dendi, more so than before, he has more last hits than before. That's just straight up how it is. You know, earlier on, we had FN pulling out ahead. He might still pull ahead, just because, you know, Roger can't really stay in this lane for too long, as pretty much for the same reason as before.
Have to drop very, very low here. They get some extra vision here. The hacker's coming back, cutting some of these trees. And he should end up falling to Vansko here eventually. Unless they want to try and give it a silence. They're keeping up the vision. One more Lucent Beam coming through. And that is, he gets it himself, so. Well, Journal, not off to the best start here, that's what I'm sure.
Oh, Dendi, mid lane, blinks in aggressively, wants to cancel that self, did so, and zones out FN out of this lane. Yeah, this lane is going completely different than the last one. That's just the biggest change already. And Miposhka has to be careful.
Oh. Again, Burst Strike will connect. A couple of right clicks. Does get a better assault off now, but it's already down to a third of his own health points. Gets the cogs off in good position though to block them out. And Roger has the Burst Strike coming off cooldown, but not in time to finally cancel the TP. Yeah, meanwhile mid, look at this too. It's Nako setting up for perhaps a bit of a courier snipe. Maybe this being that FN might want to ferry himself some extra region, but instead just walking in. Bit of damage over time for the Thunder Strike, a bit more from the Shadow Strike. Well, strikes here. Roger even there to maybe take advantage of that.
Yeah, I really feel for Empire right now. Like this lane completely the different direction, and so last game basically we saw FN pull ahead in the laning stage because of the dual lane versus dual lane where the Clockwork was just superior than the Sand King, and then he had to fall back into the jungle because eventually Dendi would start harassing him out of the lane, right? And then he had to sort of draw even with Dendi in terms of farm just because of the creep wave, because of the neutral creeps. But because he has to fall back this early already, he's not going to draw even with Dendi. He's going to fall behind in terms of farm. Most likely anyway, unless he finds a bunch of kills. So,
that's
already a huge change.
a poison on Roger down bottom. Is he going to die to this? With a fifth one? Probably. Not quite. So close.
This is the strength of the Shadow... Oh, mid lane? Shouldn't be able to get anything. But yeah, this is the strength of Shadow Demon, but unfortunately, because of all the nerfs to Shadow Poison, of course, or a couple of them anyway, he doesn't have any mana anymore.
Yeah. That's a little bit one big issue that you have with this kind of a playstyle, and he's been able to make it work here throughout this qualifier, right? I've mentioned it in before as well. I think he played it in all 4 games the other day. But yeah, it's something that you can manage though with the clarities. Nako doesn't quite get that rune. Ghost Stick snapping that up right in front of him. He glimpses back with Porsche. He still gets some mana burn. So Nako with one more right click still got a kill. A little bit too greedy here. Trying to go for that bounty. His own one is still even there, and Ghost Stick might find it, and he will. He even has a bottle, so max value out of that. Back to full mana.
Oh, general bottom lane. Gets scouted out, and this should probably be a kill.
Banish, one more Shadow Poison, right click. Sun can come in. Okay. Go for it. Stick charges were there as well. Maybe that's why I didn't want to commit with it on top of Soneko rotating in with a TP.
Dire's bottom tower is
Roger,
under attack.
setting up some extra vision here up top. Don't want to have the same kind of thing happening again. And Ghostic, alright, actually aggroing the creeps with Drunken Haze. Pretty useful at nighttime for a melee hero like that, otherwise he'd have to walk up and maybe expose himself to something aggressive variety, but hey, doesn't have to.
I hate to highlight this because obviously, you know, it's nobody's fault, but, you know, this mid lane is completely different. Dendi totally in control, a level ahead as well. Almost 2 level at this stage, or at this point. And I guess at least you give Miposhka a little bit of farm and a little bit of experience here. Not so much farm, most of the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not great, but at least, you know, Empire is getting something done on the other lanes. Ghostic has good farm himself as well. 20 last hits for an offlane Brewmaster is pretty good. Of course, he had that kill early as well. It's almost level 6. So there's still something going in Empire's way, of course.
Yeah. This bottom lane is not all that bad either. I mean, Silence sitting on top of the CS chart. And didn't to max out or lose meme. He's level 5 himself, closer to the clips. They've been able to zone out general out of this lane as much as FN has been zoned out of mid.
Oh, Roger might give up his life for that one bounty in there.
Yeah, but the burst strike stick charge is not going to be enough to put him over the edge.
They wanted to give Ghostic that kill, and they did. Almost level 6 again. Actually, that kill didn't give a lot of XP.
That's
really
level 2 Sand King. So I think they changed the values around recently so that low level heroes don't give a lot.
You know, without checking the actual level, I thought to myself, well, surely the kill support Sand King. And he's gonna be level 6 over there. Oh, nope, still not level 6. Now he is. And he immediately pops ultimate as well.
Yeah, going for Crystallize. Miposhka coming through as well. That's not the only one part of the Berry Salt. But Bill catches inside the cogs despite the doppelganger Crystallize. Will end up falling here.
And that's the good part about having a Brewmaster against a Phantom Lancer. I mentioned it earlier, but of course the spell from the Storm Bruling gets rid of those doppelganger illusions right away, so there's no questioning, oh, who's the real Phantom Lancer?
Let's go. Okay, he's
got
out the smoke, but still walks into the Burst Strike, trying to TP out now after the disruption, and okay. That ultimate catches him just in the nick of time.
Oh,
and it was a Sonic Wave, and now Roger ready to come back in, but the Eclipse going through. Not gonna be enough here. The beam is not actually landing enough on Roger. Boschka also unable to help out, so they not just lose Vansko, they also lose Silent, and that's a much bigger kill get for NaVi.
Top lane Ghostic as well. Has stick tendency charges, should be fine.
There's a glimpse available though, if they can just get in range, and there it is. Next to Crystallize. Couple of right clicks, one more nuke. Can he get it off in time? Nope. Just coming back off cooldown too late. Gets the TP back to base. Giant stack down bottom. General trying to farm it up on level 1 and the Axis for the time being. Also is level 6 now.
It's not good for Empire. They want the stack. They cannot give this to General. So far he's only taken the small ones, but once he gets the big ones, that's where it gets really sticky for Empire. Let's just put it that way.
A gift from the Tempest of Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Just have to keep an eye on it. Getting rid of these blocks with the Shadow Poison as well, so rockets. But yeah, Silent. Level 2 into the Moon Base here rather than the 4th point up into the Lucent Beam, so that'll help him starting to work away at this game himself.
Roger's trying to leech as much XP from this as possible, although, you know, isn't really that easy.
Bagging it down to the south side.
Yeah, make sure that he doesn't get any XP out of this. Oh, he might steal them.
Roger, with Burst Strike. Yeah, he stole all of these, I believe. Now General, well, he'll pay the price for it, also sticking around this general area. Or by the 3 heroes. Playing at the same time. Okay. Ghosty continuing to lane a little bit more. Does have another Bruce Split available, but Crystallize at this point full health, and Seneko visibly next to him. Not the easiest.
In the meantime, Dendi complete free farm in the mid lane. Has 2 Null Talisman. I assume those aren't gonna be anything. I think they're just like there for the stats more so than, you know. Usually you see 2 Null Talisman, and you're like, oh, maybe that's the Velo Discord. No. I assume it's gonna be the same build that we've seen on the previous game. The Orchid into an Assault Cuirass or Orchid BKB is AC.
Yeah. That Orchid did a lot of work.
It did.
But some momentum for NaVi, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see.
Especially if you're this far ahead. You know, last game we saw a Fen built into Manta Style as the first item because of that Orchid. But if you're this far ahead, you're going to have the Orchid probably at least like 5 to 7 minutes before he has that Manta Style. So
let's find silence here. Look at this. General wrapping around from the side. He wants to use the raw silence. He knows that something's amiss, but he's still going close to the creep wave, and now that was his death sentence. Burst strike from Roger, the raw, and even the sonic wave. Not sure if that was necessary, but hey. Might as well put it back on cooldown. He also has the Regen Rune, so he's can go back up to full mana. Meanwhile, Moonlight Shadow up top, so Neko, alright, he just tanks the full-on nuke. Couple of right clicks, plus the Berry Soul. That'll be the trade, but something for Empire. But you don't want to lose a Luna like that. As a result, Dandy now on top of the net worth chart. Look more here. Roger with one burst strike might have been enough. But a little bit too scary to initiate into a tier 1 tower like that. Nice, and he's fine. Oh, there's more rotations coming that way. Roger. And all the way around the Porshka. Will be burst struck. Does have the Berry Salt level 3 at this point, but decides to TP out instead. Probably the safer play to do here.
Navi's biggest weakness in this game.
Yeah.
A TP scroll. Who would
Only
win?
really the burst strike and the glimpse, right? At this point.
Yeah.
And the raw, I guess. Okay, speaking of the glimpse though, FN caught inside the static storm, so no leaps out of this one. Nice little defensive disruption, and that gives them enough time. Walk out, 1 lead, 2 lead, but damage over time from the Shadow Strike, not enough. The self and the TP. FN playing his way out of this one, but now it's time for Miposhka to get a little pressure off his own. But then he 4 stacks of poison sign coming in with the Eclipse. They'll find Neko. Might find Roger. He is looking for another burst strike down to the low ground, but the hookshot falling right there, and they're gonna get 2 kills. Vensko actually snacking up that one.
I believe Miposhka just hit level 6 because of the Disruptor kill. Because I checked him earlier and he didn't have hookshot, so I was like, alright, he's level 5. And well, this was a good solid minute for Empire, surviving on the Mirana there and getting that kill in return. They need more actions like this. Right now they have the Luna at the top of the net worth, but Luna as a hero doesn't really do too much in the mid game, more so than just she just farms. She's just there to farm, to build herself until the late game. Brewmaster with his build.
Okay, draw down bottom. They're just gonna focus, or try and focus on Vensko, but Brewmaster's already here with the split. Trying to prevent this here and at least make a trade out of it. Dandy coming through to at least secure the kill, but now cannot blink out here. It's a low level blink. They're still on cooldown for a couple of seconds, so he will take his build too. We seen a similar thing from Dandy earlier, didn't we? Like, just blinking in to get a support kill and then dying or so.
Yes, indeed.
Oh no.
Very unfortunate. And again, this is pretty much Navi just gifting Empire these kills, because Empire themselves actually can't really play the aggressor. Oh, top lane. Maybe they can play the aggressor here.
Handsome Lancer was an arrow hitting on top of a disrupt from one would have met. No, it's still off cooldown.
They're baiting him with the illusion, or he's baiting them with the illusions.
Yeah, he's just gonna get the kill. Free the field blade even now.
So more available. No.
Let's have another leap.
I thought there was.
Right, I used the bottom on Vensko, and it's still no cooldown level 1.
But yeah, the point I was trying to make, they can't really beat the aggressors. I mean, you can see it now. They couldn't even solo kill or kill a solo crystallize, right? It's really difficult for them to actually try and engage right now because they're a bit low level. They don't really have the items to do so. Maybe with the Clockwork and the Brewmaster, but the Brewmaster, of course, with his item build, going for the Midas first, understandably, doesn't have the blink initiation just yet. So it's difficult for them to really get in range to burst down someone that isn't a support. So Navi, if anything, have gifted them a couple of these kills. This is what they have to be careful about, though. As I say that, Empire also, or Ghost League also has to be careful here.
Midas is also off cooldown. Use it, use it, use it, use it. There we go. High efficiency. Wanted the range creep for the experience. Like we were talking about this level 25 on the Brewmaster, and with the Midas, that path is a little bit accelerated still. They did nerf it though, right? Not crazy. Yeah, it was used to be like 2.2 times the experience. Now it's only 1.85. But
oh, that's a while ago. Though.
Yeah.
It's like
7.04
or something. I think. I think it was still this year.
It was a while ago, but yeah, just it is the thing. There used to be a time where a lot of heroes would get Midas to just snap in terms of levels. There was also the time where there were a lot more level 10 Speed talents.
Speed talents. Yeah.
But
Dendi
now-
and Soneko looking for a kill here in the jungle. It's the right idea, you know, trying to find the Luna potentially. But now that the Luna see the Luna mid, they're thinking to themselves, well, let's go mid then. No
General
blocks up
finds
the
the
hill.
roar here. Dendi is kind of close still. Does have the arcane runes, so not a long cooldown on the Sonic Wave even. Still gonna get that free kill. And that's on the highest farm on the side of Empire. They cannot be happy about that because General in the middle of that. Also gonna get this tower Static Storm to try and zone him out. Not actually catching anybody. Now Ghosting in the middle of that. Well, gets helped with that disruption, but can he get this ultimate off? Doesn't actually have enough mana for it. Will be burned away by Crystallize. Now he's fighting up against Miborshka. Another burst strike. Empire just losing heroes one by one. They thought they could maybe take a fight there, take a trade. I don't understand this at all, but now NaVi, well, they're gonna be very happy about that. They still have the catapult wave. They still have Beastmaster in the middle of this. They're gonna be able to do a ridiculous amount of damage, if not kill this tier 2 as well.
I think they thought to themselves, you know what, they expended 2 big ultimates. They used the Roar and they used the Sonic Wave.
Yeah.
So what do? We just take fight without those abilities, and what do they have? You know, the Sanking is not even level 6 yet, or at the very least doesn't have Epicenter. Let's just take the fight. We have the Brewmaster ultimate, you know, it's the perfect timing. I'm not sure they accounted for the Diffuser Blade on Crystallize already.
Yep.
But yeah, the Brewmaster, as soon as he got in, mana instantly burned, no way to use his ultimate anymore.
Did he TP into the Static Storm, or was he burst track or something? Because, like...
He was next to the Static Storm, he was at the edge, because the Static Storm was first used on the... what was it, Clockwork? I
think Vent score, but didn't quite catch him. No one inside of it initially, I think.
A really scrappy fight overall, and Empire can't afford to take these fights. I mean, the idea was nice, I think, but at the same time, this is a fight where, again, they don't have the vision, right? They don't have the vision to take the fight here, because they couldn't really... Yeah, they have a tower. It sounds stupid to have no vision when you're around the tower, but at the same time, it is NaVi that have the vision here, right? They have the wards. Speaking of wards, that one ward is just out of center range, next to the Ancients.
Oh no.
They have the vision. They have the Hawk. They knew where everybody's going to TP in as well, and they took the tower immediately after the people TP'd in. So they knew, all right, well, let's just take the fight here.
Yep. Well, at the very least, they got to deny on the mid tier 2. It's a bit of a silver lining, but they also got the ancient stacks scouted out by the ward from NaVi, but they weren't in a position to be under silent for sitting there at low health. But he's still continuing on his item progression, but he's not as far ahead as he was in that game pre-crash, really.
Epicenter top.
Oh. Yeah, okay, well timed. Sonic Wave there, just after the disruption. Now the Orchid onto the Shadow Demon, Ghostic blinking in, and now gets a clap as well as an ultimate Miborshka with Hookshot on the side. They'll finish up 1. Will not finish up 2 here. Vansko will fall to NaVi. And this Brew Split kind of running out of steam right now. He has to start the retreat 5 seconds on this Earth Panda, and not a lot of help. Oh, the Sandstorm. Okay. He'll get a blink out, but General has one of his own. No follow-up control from any sort of roar, but silence. Another blink from Dendi. They're trying to TP out, but there's plenty of damage. If not, there was gonna be a Burrow Strike available. Yeah, right next to Roshan. They're making... not wasting any time. NaVi gonna get themselves that Aegis too. I don't think Empire can contest this. They don't have Blue Split, they don't have Hookshot. They have Eclipse, but it is level 2, but Silent doesn't really want to fight into this right now.
If you're a Team Empire fan, I gotta say, this doesn't look great. It really doesn't look great. This lineup that is sort of like poised to, you know, push the mid game, push towers, take objectives in the mid game, and have like heavy map control as well with the Beastmaster and the Queen of Pain, you know. They pretty much are doing what they need to do, and Empire just not finding the farm to answer it. Usually in a position like this, you know, where NaVi take all the map control, you think to yourself, well, at least we have the farm, you know, at least we get the items up, and, you know, at least we're sort of like split pushing, if anything, but this Luna isn't really farmed at all. She doesn't have the Manta style yet, and they fall in those fights like paper. They crumble, they can't really put up a proper fight. Ghost Stick, if anything, oh, also needs to be careful here. I don't know, it's just really difficult for Empire to engage right now. Ideally for them, they probably just split the map a little bit and try to farm up for the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Yep.
Maybe smoke gank with the Brewmaster and the Clockwork, but it's so difficult finding a kill. Soneko is never by himself, or most of the time he's close to somebody else. You know, Roger with the Blink Dagger is difficult to kill to get unless you find the perfect initiation. It's not easy, really.
Yeah. Always have that looming threat of the Phantom Lancer. You know what he can do in the late game. He's getting closer to his own meta style. The Diffusal Blade already made a huge difference in that previous fight. And it's not like Dendi is shut down either. I mean, he's level 16, has an Orchid, has Aegis in hand right now. Going for BKB next. So, like, all this magic damage that Empire have is not going to be enough to bring him down once he has that Guardian completed. And then, what kind of right click do they have right now? FN? Not really. Luna, okay, somewhat, but not exactly the single targets focus somebody down and fighter. Luna's a spread damage carry first and foremost. But yeah, already 20 minutes in, NaVi with the high ground push. This is the Beastmaster timing. They're gonna get rid of all of his army though, including normal lane creeps. Only a bit of damage done.
They're gonna fall back. It doesn't make any sense to force the fight here, even if you have the Aegis. I don't think Navi's advantage is that big yet that they could just flat out force a fight here, win it, and take the racks. There's actually a real threat, you know, Eclipse, the Brewmaster coming in from any angle that you don't know of. He was actually positioned himself already to the side. So I like this decision from Navi to just fall back. If you're Empire, you might be looking towards a gank now because you know that they're probably going to be spread. You know, somebody TP's top, somebody's mid, you know, they're just going to fall back to farm. But again, it's not easy to find a kill here because who do you really kill? Like, do you have enough burst damage to just take somebody out without any repercussions? Maybe the Beastmaster, but Beastmaster's standing next to his tower. It's so difficult to just engage there without any TP rotation coming and just going for a trade here.
At this point with Navi, they probably realized that okay, the hookshot misses.
That
so
sidestep.
That's an academic argument at this point, whether they could have killed General and whether Navi would have responded because of the missed hookshot. Now they get the glimpse, they get to kill themselves and score. Well, worst comes to worst, you can always just purge a PL illusion, right? XD.
Don't even say that, man. Don't even say that. Because if it happens again, no, it's not
being channeled onto Ghost. He's sleeping out though, and yeah, then he's not letting it go. Wouldn't have been enough damage, so that's a wasted ultimate.
Well, Navi are probably gonna push the tier 2 top. Gonna group up a little bit, and Sun is doing the right thing, just split pushing, maybe take this tier 1. That'll actually be saving grace here if they at least get this tier 1 tower here. It's crazy to think about that they only have this one tier 1 tower top taken. It was denied actually by Beastmaster.
Yeah.
Like, this is night and day in comparison to the last game, right?
Yeah.
Where Empire had more map control, they were more assertive, they had more farm on the heroes as well.
This goes to
yeah,
show
they're not
that
even gonna get this tier 1 bottom.
Yeah.
Well, they should be
keeping back to defend, and it's I think these amount of damage. One of the illusions they don't do a whole lot at this point. But it just goes to show that draft, while it's terribly important, obviously, it's Dota is complex enough that at this level of play, outdrafts are not really a thing, and the way game's going is heavily influenced by the early game in particular. And still, it's not over. It wasn't over for NaVi, even though Empire had a distinct advantage. It's not over for Empire now.
Outdrafts are still a thing, of course. You can definitely say if one team has a better draft or not, but definitely because you are a draft, it doesn't mean you lose the game.
Yeah, it's not an auto-win.
Well.
It's very rare that we have that. So.
A lot of it comes down to execution, and if you can look at 2 drafts and think to themselves, well, they're pretty similar, giving both teams the chance to pretty much replay that same game is, I don't know, it makes it very confusing as to, you know, who's going to win, who's not going to win. And NaVi, I think they pretty much did what they didn't do correctly in game 1. You know, they dominated the mid lane a little bit more. They turned up the aggression a lot. They made sure to get those early objectives, get those early team fights. And, well, again, Empire, they're still not out of the game. They have a Luna, they have a Brewmaster, they have excellent team fight, and that's why you can see NaVi trying a little bit hesitant as to, you know, pushing the high ground or like forcing a team fight.
Gonna go in here, Burst Strike on top, and Crystallize coming through, and they also catch him inside the Stag Storm. FN is actually dead without any repercussions here, unless the Brewmaster can do something. Lifts up Beastmaster in the air, so no roll for the time being. Oh, the Abyssal is being channeled. Roger, what? Oh no, he messed up.
He cancelled it.
Oh no.
I mean, he realized that it was not gonna be, you know, wasn't gonna do anything.
No, he channeled it for almost 2 seconds.
Actually,
and
yeah, he
still
might
linked
have,
in,
yeah.
so that was clearly a misplay. But that as well, the Sonic Wave onto nothing in particular either. Maybe NaVi is getting a
They
bit
have a hook shot
tired.
still.
Yeah, they do indeed. The Raw is also still available, and Crystallize is pretty damn scary. No mana on either Silent or Van score here due to all of this mana burns, so Empire cannot really find an angle back. A few dope moments right there on NaVi, but they're not being punished for it.
Again, yeah, even though they kill, you know, as I said, they were hesitant to look for team fights, they just pick off the Mirana. But still, it goes to show that NaVi, they don't want to overcommit, they don't want to, like, fight on high ground especially, because they know there's so much teamfight potential on this Empire lineup. It's risky to fighting into that, so they need a bigger advantage here. They need more items. Maybe the AC could be an item that could change sort of like the tides, because it accelerates their push potential and makes them more potent in team fights.
Yep.
Maybe even a Force Staff on Vanscore, or sorry, not Vanscore, Sineko. Because a Force Staff on Sineko could actually change a lot of things. You know, Force Staffing himself out there for a more favorable static storm.
Top lane, clicking on Ghost Stick. Away from Dendi, but Miposhka gets the vision and gets the hook shot. Well played. Good patience there from Empire. Dendi gets to blink out again. This one that's a low enough cooldown. Can they actually convert this into a kill? The arrow? I heard it, but
And missed.
quite predict properly. That would have been amazing if FN gets that follow-up, but the dust coming through at the Moonlight Shadow. The Raw will connect as General comes in. More reinforcements for NaVi, and they'll get the kill instead. Mirana falls. Now they're looking for more Miposhka.
Oh, Miposhka.
Deeping out in the same position here that he cancelled Dendi's CP in, and well, right about now he's probably regretting that decision. That he ever did that in the first place.
Silent tries to take this tier 1 tower, but immediately 2 TPs are coming in. The Illusion's gonna get this? Yeah, they're gonna get it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're gonna get it.
for the glaive bounces.
Has fallen.
NaVi unable to get their Nai in time. Look at this posturing, look at this movement. Dendi is sitting at half health really, but he's still moving aggressively. As if he had an Aegis almost. Roger, well, he finds Shadow Demon. Van's on a warding mission, just trying to do anything to create space. And I guess he has 3 heroes behind him, chasing him down for quite a while, delaying it even more with the disruption. At least he gets that, but Empire can't help but feel that they're maybe a little bit tilted, maybe a little bit frustrated that this is the way the game's going now after having it restarted.
I mean, it's difficult to put yourself in a mental state where you can, you know, not only do you have to accept the fact that your huge advantage was negated or, you know, basically removed. No, you also have to come back from this disadvantage now.
Well, if any team can do it though, it is Empire. It's, they've been having some good results lately.
And again, they still have an excellent lineup with which they can do it.
Yeah.
They have a lot of team fight. They have a decent amount of pickup potential as well, of course. But again, it's not easy. Heroes like Beastmaster, of course, are very vigilant. You know, you have the Hog to gain more information, so you play around certain areas only. Queen of Pain, very mobile. We saw it earlier. They didn't actually have any sort of like catch or lockdown potential. But in those big team fights, you know, when they're holding high ground, where they're maybe even fighting around Roshan, that's where they can shine. And this is, I think, where Empire should sort of look towards. Not be desperate to find a kill no matter what here in this enemy jungle, but instead look towards, you know, those fights around the Roche Pit, around their own high ground. Although Miposhka, probably dead.
Yep. Coming
but these kills, or these deaths, don't really mean too much.
I don't even know. Okay, no, Roger's there.
No. These deaths don't really mean too much. He's dying very far outside his own base. And they're not going to get an immediate objective out of it.
Yeah.
Maybe Roshan, but they probably could have gotten... Oh, actually, never mind. He's going buyback for this Roshan, isn't he?
Gotten it out, just confirming it with a rocket. But Empire, they're not actually moving towards it.
Attempt.
Nah. He's gonna try and hook in, I guess, yeah, but we have a Beastmaster. The General can start spreading out some things if he wants to. Epicenter being channeled up. Might actually get Burst Strike only on Delusions, though. Silent Vanscore. Silent to turn this around with the Eclipse, but he will dodge out most of that. Roger will still fall. But now that's on cooldown. Dandy gets the more important kill with his own ultimate. Now blinking ultimate Porshka, but the Moonlight Shadow's out, making it a little bit hard to stick on a target for Navi. Bruce Split is also in as well, but Crystallize just focusing on the supports and now going on Silent. Does have the BKB, but there's plenty of units. The Glaive starts to bounce. Crystallize dropping low, but not low enough until Ghosty comes through. Dandy! BKB just in time to get secure the blink out. The last right click not coming through from Ghosty to finish him off. Empire, they lose a lot, but so does Navi. Chrysalite going down in particular. Okay, General, he's not even done yet. Gets the roar off after that snipe with the Axis. And now right clicks on Porshka. Does get himself the Dark Troll Summoner with the extra control and 4 staffs out of the cogs. I think that was Clockwork's 4 staffs trying to get rid of General. That pushed them back up to the high ground. And Empire, I was just gonna say, yeah, at the very least they prevent Navi from taking Roshan. That's not even true here with these crazy plays. They delayed it, yeah, but can they really prevent it? With Luna still being down, no Brewmaster or Brew Split, even if he was alive. The answer should really be no.
General even blocks the arrow with his Hawk. Aegis in the hands of Dendi.
He's
Cheese for Roger for now, although I'm sure he's gonna give it to Crystallize probably later on. Maybe even to Dendi as well, who knows. This really sucks. It was pretty much the fight that Empire had to take. I don't think he can give up Roshan just like that. But at the same time, it was a really late contest. Really late contest. They had to TP in, and Navi saw all of the TPs coming to the Shrine. They had a Hawk right on top of it. They even had a ward next to their Ancient, so they knew whenever Empire was going to walk in. And that made it really difficult for Empire to take the fight. It still turned out better than expected, or than it maybe even should have, just because, you know, this is their lineup. Their lineup shines in those team fights. And if you're Empire, yeah, you're behind by what? Almost 15,000 at this point? Yeah, it's like 13,000 or something.
K goals, but experience closer to 20,000 actually.
Yeah. Even if you're behind by that far, I still think you feel somewhat confident in your ability to hold high ground, or at least in your ability to take fights on your own high ground.
We saw Silent held his own up against the Phantom Lancer. I mean, things are going to change now. Don't think he had the heart at that fight. But Silent also didn't have the Butterfly, so it's a really good hybrid item. Defensive utility, but also a good amount of extra attack speed and damage for an agility hero like him. So,
double damage.
Again, no games unwinnable at this level of play. NaVi gonna look to try and get some concrete objectives. They have a double catapult wave, Beastmaster in the front, down to right click away, and Empire is not quite in position to defend this. They will lose a tier 3 at the very least. If they don't want to lose Rax, they have to start contesting this. Incredibly hard into Aegis, and she's AC up and running on the Queen of Pain as well. Andy working away at the ranged Rax, while the catapults still so much damage on the melees. Crystallize even has a DD rune. Lasting for another couple of seconds, there it is. Burst Strike coming through. They come in for the fight, but Silent BKB Eclipse trying to do something here, focusing on Soneko. Easy targets first, and Brewmaster will be able to finish it off. Hookshot into on Dandy. Bosch getting quite a bit of damage in return. Crystallize refocusing onto FN. And now there it is. The epicenter as well as the Sonic Wave. Dandy and Unstoppable 3 together with Roger cleaning up another couple of heroes. And, well, Brewmaster coming back into the Orchid, into death. 4 heroes down the sidelines. NaVi, they want to end this game right now. Buyback onto Brewmaster. He TP'd up to the top shrine, I believe. That was the closest target. The rest of the team still waiting away at the melee racks. Only Clockwork alive, but not for too much longer. He goes forward, and now slowed down. Cannot even make it back to the fountain. FN disconnecting. GG has not been officially called.
Believe this is over.
I
think this is what those disconnections mean. Yes,
Pushka does it, and yeah, NaVi, Roger says it. He's sorry. I'm extremely sorry for Empire as well. But what can you do?
I mean, this really sucks, and I hope that people discussing all of this will have to realize, though, that there was nothing that could have been done. The only thing I think could have been different is, if anything, maybe remake with a different draft. That's the only thing that could have been different, but I believe that has been decided after discussing with both teams. I'm not sure who was in favor of what, but there was no way to just give up there was no way to replay it, and there was obviously no way to just give Empire the flat out win, because even if they were ahead by 10k, anything could have still been possible. It sucks for them. They really put up a valiant fight in all 3 games, I think.
Yeah.
But also, same with NaVi. I mean, you can't blame NaVi for playing well, right? It sucks. It's a bit of a sour aftertaste, but at the end of the day, congrats to NaVi. I mean, I did call it, to be fair. NaVi as the qualifier for MDL Macau. Yeah. They're going to be traveling there in December, I believe. The second Chinese minor after Perfect World. So hopefully this is going to be a good one. We already have, newbie, not newbie, LFY qualified earlier today, as well. So there's a lot of strong competition there already. So hopefully everybody's looking forward to that. But of course, feels really bad, man, for Team Empire.
Well, gotta wish them the best in the future. There's still plenty of tournaments left in the season. Plenty of qualifiers to be played, and plenty of chances probably to get revenge for Empire up against NaVi. But yeah, it is what it is. Again, there's nothing else to be said apart from maybe make Reddit threads and ask Valve to implement the load feature, because that would have saved their asses. But yeah, as it stands, it's us done for the day. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the cast, regardless of all these issues that we had. My name is DragonDrop. You can find me on Twitter at DragonDropDota, and you can also follow my co-caster Skim at Skim Gaming. Keep an eye out on BTS at Beyond the Summit for like all the qualifier coverage that's everyone's doing. Again, as always, the last thing to be said is, again, thank you guys very much, and see you next time.